हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। परशुराम बजाएगा? परशुराम बजाएगा? अरे आज तो परशुराम जयंती, आज तो बजाना ही पड़ेगा परशुराम। हरे कृष्णा। So everyone please get seated. We will have a class on Bhagavad Gita. तो अभी भगवत गीता में प्रवचन होगा। सबसे अनुरोध है कि अपने जो लोग रुक सकते हैं रुक जाइए। तो पहले हम थोड़ा सा भजन करेंगे। We will sing one bhajan before we begin the class. So everyone is requested to please sit down. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदन यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। तब कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदन यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यमुना तीरवनचारी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for weekly Bhagavad Gita class. So today also happens to be a very, very auspicious and holy day of Akshay Tritiya. So we will discuss from Bhagavad Gita and speak about the importance of Akshay Tritiya in our lives. So Prabhu, can you bring this board? बोर्ड को यहाँ लेके आएंगे. So we will recite the verse first. So this is on the board, the verse is written. So after I speak, you can recite the verse, you can repeat the verse. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's words, Bhagwan ke द्वारा बोला गया संदेश. It is very auspicious to repeat these verses. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 1, which is called Observing the Armies. And today we will be discussing from text number 20. So I will recite the text and you can try to follow. Atha vavasvitan drishtva dhratrashtran kapidvajah Dhritarashtraन् kapidva pravritte shastra sampate dhanur udyama pandavah rishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate athavavistitan drishtva dhritarashtraन् kapidvajah pravritte shastra sampate dhanur udyam pandavah rishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate athavavistitan drishtva dhritarashtraन् kapidvajah pravritte shastra sampate dhanur udyama pandavah rishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate. Anyone would like to try reciting? So you can recite and then we will follow. Any of the Matajis or ladies, anyone wants to try? Athavavasthitan drishtva dhritarashtraन् kapidvajah pravritte shastra sampate dhanur udyama pandavah rishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate. So now we will read the meaning of each word of the shlok which is written, and then we will read the translation of the verse and then read the purport. So I will first read the meaning of each word which is mentioned on the board, so you can have a look at the board also. Ath means thereupon, Vyavasthitan situated, Drishtva is looking upon, Dhritarashtraन् the sons of Dhritarashtra, Kapidvajah he whose flag was marked with Hanuman, Pravritte while about to engage, Shastra Sampate in releasing his arrows, Dhanuh bow, Udyama taking up, Pandavah the son of Pandu, Arjun, Rishikesham unto Lord Shri Krishna, Tada at that time, Vakyam words, Idam these, are said, Mahipate, O king. So now I will read the translation of this verse. At that time, Arjun, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjun then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. So now I'm going to read the purport to this verse given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So this is the explanation of this verse. Purport. The battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjun is another sign of victory, because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Ram in the battle between Ram and Ravan, and Lord Ram emerged victorious. Now, both Ram and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjun to help him. Lord Krishna is Ram himself, and wherever Lord Ram is, his consort, his eternal servitor Hanuman, and his eternal consort Mother Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjun in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee lay the signs of assured victory. So now I'll recite the invocation prayers before we begin our discussion. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam Panghum langayate girim Yad kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatharinam. Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for this weekly Sunday Bhagavad Gita class. So we are reading from chapter 1, which is called Observing the Armies. Bhagavad Gita, as we know, is the song of God. And this was spoken on the battlefield. It comes in Mahabharata, which is just before the war is about to begin. And in the last 19 verses, we saw how the arrangement of the armies is done. And Duryodhan approaches Dhritarashtra and Bhishma and in a very diplomatic way encourages them to fight for him. And later in the last week, we discussed how the Pandavas and Krishna and then Bhishma and everyone blew their conch shells. So this is the Vedic times, how even the wars were happening very systematically. ऐसा नहीं कि रात को कभी भी शुरू कर दिया. And they had their proper systems and code of conducts. So they played they blew their conch shells. And now, this verse where we are, this time what is happening is, at that time Arjun, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrow. So here we are at this, it's just on the onset of the war. So the war is about to happen, and here the description of Arjuna on his chariot is there. He is sitting right, almost just ready to pick up his bow, which was the famous bow which is called as Gandiv. Yeah, Gandiv Dhari. That was his famous bow which had all the very celestial weapons which he could shoot with that. All these most powerful missiles in the creation were at his disposal. So this is Arjuna here. And here it is describes that he is seated in a chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman. So all of you seen Rath ke upar ek wo dhwaja rehti hai, there's a chariot, there's a flag marking on it. So that's there, and here it is described by, this is the description is, Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra what is happening on the scene. So this is the verse where we are reading. He's telling that Arjun's chariot is marked with a flag which has the symbol of Hanuman. And so this is a beautiful story how this mark came on this chariot. Like every army, like Indian army has their own insignia. What do you call it? Insignia or sign, or Navy has, and so everyone has their own, Pakistan or whatever. Every country has their own army and then a sign. So Arjuna had the flag which was marked with Hanumanji. So this story comes in Mahabharata in the previous section where they were Pandavas, they were traveling, and in the Badrika Shram, in that upper Badri area, the Himalayas, they were there, and Arjuna had gone to collect some celestial weapons, and there at that time in the Alaknanda, the river Ganga, Draupadi saw a very beautiful 1,000-petal lotus, and she was very captivated. So she liked it very much, and she wanted to offer to Yudhishthir and for their worship. So she requested Bhimsen, can you actually go and bring that? So Bhimsen was always eager and very active, and he took his mace, the Gada, and he just walked up the hill to find the source and where these lotuses are coming from. So he's like a very powerful Kshatriya giant, and it's like almost a jungly terrain. It's not easy to walk in, but he is like powerful. Even the tigers and the lions would get scared when he would shout and call. So he's just going through the forest path to get those lotuses, locate those lotuses. And while he's just walking, on the way he saw a huge monkey sitting and honoring some fruits, eating some fruits. So, and he is from the very sabhya and very cultured, coming from family. So Bhimsen actually requested that huge monkey that, can you just move aside so that I can go ahead? Like that monkey was sitting right on the path. Path matlab jungle mein rasta to nahi tha, but just the pathway which was there. So he was right in there. And that monkey replied that, I'm too old to move and I am having my prasad, so it's food time, don't disturb me. If you want, just cross over me and go. And Bhimsen was very cultured. He said, it's usually in the Vedic culture, you just don't cross over anyone or superiors. Kisi ke upar pair rakh ke nahi jana chahiye, as an etiquette. So he was very conscious about that, Bhimsen. He said, no, I can't do it. I'm just requesting, can you move aside? So this huge monkey said, no, it's not possible. I'm too old. I just can't move. So Bhimsen was a little angry. He was getting angry that I have to get this lotus. It's getting late. And can you just move aside a little so that I can thoda poonch hi hata ke side pe kar do apni, and then I'll just go. And somehow that monkey was saying, no, I'm too old. I'm eating prasad. You just jump over me. He said, no. So then finally that monkey said, okay, if you want, you can just lift my tail, put it on the side and go. So Bhimsen, with all his strength and power, he tried to lift that tail, but he was not able to do it. Bhimsen is really powerful. He had the strength of at least 10,000 elephants. पहले वो आजकल वो क्या होता है, हॉर्स पावर में गिनते हैं ना, गाड़ी का शक्ति और इसकी शक्ति. पहले वो हाथी की पावर हुआ करता था. एलिफेंट पावर वाज मोर पॉपुलरली नोन. अभी आजकल हाथी का शक्ति पता नहीं है लोगों को. But then that's how, so he was compared. He had that strength of 10,000 elephants, but still he could not lift that tail. So then finally he surrendered. He said, hey bhaiya, आप हैं कौन? Who are you? I am not even able to lift your tail. And then that huge monkey revealed that actually I am Hanuman. So then he offered his pranams, and they were actually in one sense that Hanumanji said, you are my brother because you are also Vayu Putra and I am also Vayu Putra. So we are brothers. So they embrace each other and exchange pleasantries. And then Hanumanji offered, please have some fruits and then go. He said, no, I have to go and collect that. lotus flower. And so finally he goes. But then Hanumanji was very pleased with him. And Hanumanji said that I offer you a benediction that I know in the future when you go back to the kingdom, there is going to be a great war of Mahabharat, the greatest war which the universe has ever seen. It's going to happen between you and the Kauravas. So when that war happens, I will appear on the flag of your brother Arjun. But then I will participate in the war by supporting you. Whenever you make that war cries, I will join you and scare the opponents. ये war cries, you know, जब क्षत्रिय कोई जब युद्ध कर रहे होते हैं, they like वो चिल्लाते हैं ना एक दूसरे को, that's like they shout, yeah, I will kill you or whatever, भाग जाओ मेरे सामने, and then like that the war cries which they make, which actually are actually सामने वाले को डरा देते हैं. That the confidence can actually scare the person. And then ऐसे वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, जो डर गया वो मर गया. So something like that. So Hanumanji said, you make the war cry and I'll also join you and I'll make such a powerful war cry that आधे लोग तो ऐसे ही डर जाएंगे. So then your job will be much easier to deal with the armies and all, and it will be easier for Arjuna. So that's how this thing happened, that as this is mentioned here, pravritte shastra sampate dhanur udyama pandava. Where is that? Yeah, dhrit dhatrashran kapi dvajha. Kapi is monkey or Hanumanji and Dhwaja. So that is how the story of Kapi Dhwaj comes in here. And then this verse explains, the Prabhupada explains in the purport that wherever, the sign Hanumanji, as we see beautiful deity of Hanumanji we have here on the right, those who have not seen. This is the beautiful deity of Hanuman. So wherever Hanumanji is there, victory is assured. And Prabhupada in the purport beautifully explains that Hanuman cooperated with Ram in the battle between Ram and Ravan, and Lord Ram emerged victorious. And here now you see the situation of Arjun on the chariot. There is Hanuman on that flag, and Ram, who is same as Krishna, he is sitting right there. So both Ram and Hanuman are there on the side of Pandavas. So therefore, victory is absolutely guaranteed. There is no way that you can lose when Krishna is by your side, when Lord is by our side. And that is actually the very important point. When we have God and devotees by our side, there is victory in all wars which we are encountering, which we will encounter. So each one of us have our own war zone, नहीं? सबके जीवन में कुछ ना कुछ कठिनाइयाँ, कुछ ना कुछ कष्ट, कुछ ना कुछ समस्याएं जिनसे हम लोग जूझ रहे हैं, झगड़ा होते हैं. लेकिन यहाँ पर this very beautifully this point is explained. Whenever there is Ram or Hanuman with us by our side, then assured victory is guaranteed. In terms of numbers, Dhritarashtra's team had a much huge number of army. And there were people like Bhishma, people like Dronacharya, their teachers were there. But still, they could defeat. Jai Shri Radha, Gopinath, Bhagavan ki Jai. But still, the Pandavas could defeat Dhritarashtra and their sons because they had Ram and Hanuman. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is beautiful. Therefore, that is what we actually have to do. With all the skill set which Arjun had, he would have not been able to defeat he was the most, in one sense, equipped personality. He had all the celestial weapons. He was the best student of Dronacharya. And he was the topper in that whole Dronacharya institute. But still, with the opponents which were there, it would have not been possible. So the only way it would have been possible is the able guidance of Krishna, as Prabhupada explains himself in this purport. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever, because the Lord of the senses. Here Krishna is addressed in this word as Rishikesham. Last time, that's the word for Krishna. Rishikesh means one who controls the senses. So it's Krishna is addressed as Rishikesh. So Prabhupada says that in the purport, above all, the Lord of the senses, Lord Sri Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. So thus all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. And the same good counsel which Krishna gave to Arjuna is available to each one of us in the form of the Bhagavad Gita. This is the same knowledge which Krishna gave to Arjuna, was very mercifully recorded by Srila Vyasadeva, and he has given us in this form of Bhagavad Gita. So we also have the same advantage as Arjuna had, having Krishna by his side. The only thing we have to do is pick this book and read. So that same counsel which was there for Arjuna is there for us in the form of this Bhagavad Gita. In such auspicious conditions, Prabhupada concludes the purport, arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee, lay the signs of assured victory. So this signs of assured victory can be there in our lives also if we also agree to accept the teachings of Bhagavad Gita which Krishna gave to Arjuna. This is the beautiful point which is being explained. And now I'll just speak briefly with the time what we have about the today's Tithi, the Akshaya Tritiya. Today is a very, very holy, auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya. And of course, most people know primarily is कि आज सोना खरीदना चाहिए, नहीं? Gold, people want to buy gold and so that इसका कभी क्षय नहीं होगा. आज जो करेंगे उसका वो चलता रहेगा, हमेशा के साथ हमारे पास सोना रहेगा. Of course, there is nothing in this world which is permanent. The only क्या बोलते हैं, the wealth which is permanent or the only currency which is permanent is the holy names of God, and whatever time and energy we spend in connection with God is the eternal Shashvat Akshay hai actually. वास्तव में वही अक्षय है. Otherwise, whatever wealth we may own, it is all very, very temporary. आज है, कल नहीं है, पता नहीं. It's very, very temporary. At the most, till the time of our death. उसके बाद कोई नहीं ले जा सकता, नहीं. There has not been, there is not any being, and there will never be any being who will be able to take the material wealth which one has acquired. Somehow this currency does not work there. After death, when we are there, this currency does not work there. It's only, there's no rupee or no dollar or no whatever Russian currency आजकल famous हो रहा है, वो सब वहाँ चलता नहीं है. So nothing is going to work there. So the only thing that works is the spiritual credits which we earn in this life are going to come to our rescue and our help there. So therefore, Akshaya Tritiya is very, very important day where we can try to start investing or increase our investment with God more and more. That is the real Akshaya Tritiya, the benefit of Akshaya Tritiya. Since we are discussing Bhagavad Gita, actually today is the day when Vyasadeva actually started writing Mahabharata many, many years back. Because previously all the Vedic wisdom was primarily heard. It was like called Shruti, the spiritual master, the guru would tell his disciples, and they would remember everything. So there was no question of textbook or written thing or any soft copies, because everything was, the Guru would tell their disciples, and people before this age of Kali Yuga, before 5,000 years odd back, people had such mental acumen that they would exactly remember what was being told to them. तो हमें लगता है कि हमने बड़ी एडवांसमेंट कर ली आजकल, ये सब पेपर एंड रिटन मटेरियल एंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ the data storages which we have created, some hundreds and thousands of GBs of data. So we think we have made actually advancement, but actually previously people didn't need all that. Everything was, they had such superior intelligence that everything was in their memory. But now Vyasadeva could foresee that the people of this age of Kali Yuga they're going to be a little dull, and it's going to be difficult for them to remember these things. So let me just present the whole Vedic texts in a very simplified way where people can understand in this beautiful historical narration, and I will put the essential message of Upanishads in the form of Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata. So today is the day when Vyasadeva ji actually decided to write and began his writing. And of course, he wanted somebody as his secretary to write, because he just wanted to write down, and कोई secretary रहेगा तो fast हो जाता है ना, dictation. You can, what is that? They can write in shorthand. I don't know. पहले secretaries would use shorthand. आजकल I don't know. Use होता है shorthand language? I think most of you don't even know what shorthand is. पहले जो पुराने लोग होंगे जानते होंगे ना. Secretaries would use that shorthand and they would quickly take those notes. So anyway, so he wanted someone who could quickly write for him. So then he approached Ganeshji that, can you help me? I want to write this literature for the people of this age of Kali. Can you help me to write this? So Ganeshji said, I'll be very happy to do this seva, glad to do this. And Jan Kalyan ke liye main karne ke liye bahut taiyar hu. Just that only thing is, mera bhi ek condition hai that you should not stop in between. Fatafat dictate karte rehna. So that was his condition actually. So Vyasadeva said, that's fine. But Vyasadeva was thinking it's a long, it's 1 lakh verses. So I have to speak absolutely ekdam ek ke baad Sanskrit verses bolna hai. To kahin pause dena pade. So then Vyasadeva also said, I also have one condition. I will speak, but you have to write everything after understanding. ऐसा नहीं कि रट्टा मैं बोल रहा हूँ, रट्टा मैं लिखते जा रहा हूँ. You should understand everything and then write. So then Ganesh said, okay, it's fine. So then Vyasadeva, what he would do is he would narrate, but whenever he needed some time to think about the next theme or next episode, what's going to happen, so he will put some difficult shlokas, which are called Kuta shlokas. So which will be a little like tricky, which will have an indirect meaning. So Ganesh would have to a little bit pause and then write. And that will give Vyasadeva some time to think about it. And then he would continue with his narration. So this episode happened today, actually. So we are, in very sense, we are very honored that we are reading these words of Srila Vyasadeva and Ganeshji from the Bhagavad Gita. So this literature beginning was today. So we are very fortunate. And also, there are a few other historical incidents which happened today. So I'll briefly discuss on them. Also, today is the appearance day, or as we know in this world as birthday of Parshuramji. Lord Parshuram, Bhagwan Parshuramji ka bhi janm अक्षय तृतीया के दिन हुआ, आविर्भाव, as we call it, अवतरण उनका, भगवान के शक्त्यावेश अवतार श्री परशुराम जी. He also appeared on this day, and he was specially empowered by the Lord to kill the Kshatriya race. This is like millions of years back, many of the Kshatriya rulers were not ruling as they are supposed to. Instead of protecting the citizens, they were harming the citizens and not doing their job properly. So Parshuramji appeared and killed all the Kshatriyas across the globe. 21 times he traveled. and killed them. So that is his appearance day also today. Also, today is the day when Mother Ganga descended on earth. गंगा जी का प्राकट्य इस धरातल पे भी आज ही के दिन हुआ. Ganga ji actually appeared from the heavenly planets, from the upper planets, and she came with such force, and there was a discussion that the earth may not be able to handle the force which it comes, because force is what, mass into velocity. नहीं ऐसा ही कुछ होता है ना? नहीं मैं भूल गया. I don't know, whatever. Mass into acceleration, yeah, because they're coming from heavenly planets, it's going to be tremendous force will be there. So the displacement of earth may happen. So actually the Bhagavatam describes in great detail about the different planets and how these planets are situated. So we will not go into that, but if somebody wants, they can actually calculate the force which would be there, and the earth could be displaced. That was the concern. And finally they approached Lord Shiva. Bhagwan Shankar ke paas gaye, and then he agreed कि actually I will hold it on my jata, and therefore Lord Shiva is also known as Gangadhar. So he held Ganga on his jatas and then released it with much lower force and on the Himalayas, and from there Himalayas Ganga Mai comes down. And so this event also happened today, where Lord Shiva actually released Mother Ganga on the earth today. And this is very, very auspicious to take bath in Ganga. Actually, it is said in scriptures, even just remembering Mother Ganga's name, केवल गंगा गंगा बोलने से भी व्यक्ति पवित्र हो जाते हैं. केवल गंगा का स्मरण करने से, गंगा का ध्यान करने से, ऑफ कोर्स अगर सौभाग्य मिले तो गंगा स्नान करना चाहिए. आज के दिन तो बहुत भीड़ रहती है, बट whenever it's possible. So these holy rivers have this purifying potency. एक शक्ति होती है कि वह व्यक्ति को जो है, they can actually, those who have gone Ganga and have bathed, they can experience. गंगा जल रखा रहे लाखों वर्षों तक भी खराब नहीं होता. You can just keep it. It's such potency, such power, purifying power of the holy river Ganga. Actually, when Vaman Dev was measuring the three worlds with his feet, he made a hole through the covering of the universe, and Brahmaji actually bathed the Lord's lotus feet, and that was part of the stream of Ganga. So therefore, Ganga is actually the Charnamrit of the Lord. So therefore, Ganga is very, very special. And so this event also happened today. Oh, of course, another very, very important thing which happened today is that Brahmaji began the creation today. Brahmaji is like our secondary creator. The primary creation, all the ingredients are provided by the Lord, Vishnu. And then Brahmaji is given the responsibility to, from the elements, make this universe, create this universe. So that began, the creation began on this day. So in one sense, ये पूरे इस universe का क्या बोलते हैं ना, आज first day of the way the creation began. So करते हैं ना घर प्रवेश नहीं, तो बनने के बाद होता है, but पहले वो नींव डालते हैं, and then you install that अनंत शेष करते हैं. The first groundbreaking ceremony बोलते हैं ना. So that happened actually in one sense. So the groundbreaking ceremony for this entire universe in one sense actually happened today. So it's a very, very auspicious day today that Brahmaji, and so therefore this is very important to read these scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, which gives us, they are like the manuals, which gives us the purpose of the creation. अभी ये creation बनाने तो ब्रह्मा जी को बोल दिया भगवान ने, लेकिन इस creation का उद्देश्य क्या है? What is the purpose behind this whole? Whenever we make something, there is a purpose behind it, है कि नहीं? कोई भी कुछ हम घर लेते हैं, उसका एक हमारे पीछे मन में कुछ होता है विचार. हम कोई भी चीज़ खरीदते हैं, उसके पीछे हमारा, हम इसको इस प्रकार से इसका प्रयोग करेंगे, इसका उपयोग इस प्रकार होगा. उसी प्रकार से भगवान ने ब्रह्मा जी को निर्देश दिया, आप सृष्टि की रचना करिए. तो उस सृष्टि का उद्देश्य क्या है? ये जानना बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण है. So these scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic texts basically tell us what is the purpose of this creation. So therefore it is very, very essential that we study these scriptures and try to apply what is there in our lives so that we can know कि भाई ये पर्पस क्रिएशन का फुलफिल हो रहा है कि नहीं. Otherwise we are just like a confused lot roaming around but we don't know why we are there. हम क्यों हैं, यहाँ क्यों आए, वो हमें पता ही नहीं है, बस घूम रहे हैं, कहीं जा रहे हैं. मतलब इट्स लाइक if somebody is going on a highway and you stop the car and ask him, hey my dear friend, where are you going? I don't know. So क्या लगेगा, यार पागल है क्या तुम, you don't know what is where you are going. At least GPS ऑन करके कुछ तो लक्ष्य होना चाहिए, गोल होना चाहिए. तो उसी तरह से अगर हमें मालूम नहीं है हम जा कहाँ रहे हैं, so it's like that crazy person who is driving who don't know where is, एक गाड़ी है, पेट्रोल है, तो चलो घूमते हैं. But that's just a sheer waste. So there has to be a purpose in life. It's not that the day is coming and then we just get up doing and then wind up the day and then again do the repeat things, the same things if we keep doing. If we do not try to understand what is the purpose of this creation, purpose of this body, we are like that crazy person who's driving, you don't know where is he going. ठीक है यार, शरीर मिला है, चलना है, खाना है, पीना है, सोना है, करना है, चला लो गाड़ी. So that's like we will be ruining the purpose of the creation. We will be missing the main mark. So today is the day Brahmaji sets the creation, the beginning. So therefore it is very, very essential we try to understand this message of Bhagavad Gita. And actually in this month end we have a journey of self-discovery course which very lucidly explain in essence the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. If those of you are there, we have a counter downstairs and here also Mataji is sitting, they can register here. What dates are those? 24, 25, 26th? 24, 25th and 26th of this month. So if you like, you can register there in the counter. Very beautifully in the evening, this course describes the purpose of creation and in essence in 3 days gives the entire summary of the Bhagavad Gita. So today is the day of the creation, the day of Ganga Devi, the day of Parshuram. Also it also marks the beginning of Treta Yuga. So there are 4 yugas, like the time in the Vedic times is cyclic. Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and then Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is like 4,32,000, and then Dwapar is 8 lakh, double basically, and then 3 times is Treta Yuga. So Treta Yuga begins on this day today. Today is was the first day of Treta Yuga. Of course, some scriptures also say that this is the beginning of every yuga happens on this day. So that also is there. And also another important thing that happened is Kuberji, you know Kuber? He is the treasurer of the Kajanchi Devtaon ke. So he received his post today. So today he was given the in charge that this is all the treasury of the demigods. So please, ये देवताओं का treasury आपके हाथ है. So he was appointed on this post today. So today is his anniversary, क्या बोलते हैं, job का first anniversary, not first anniversary, the anniversary of his job of Mr. Shri Kuberji. So that's the day. And today is the day when the darshans, I don't know अभी होता है नहीं, but previously it was like that. और वो अपना बद्रीनाथ बद्री विशाल जी के दर्शन खुल जाते हैं आज से. 6 महीना बर्फ रहती है और उसके बाद आज से वो दर्शन आरंभ हो जाते हैं. And also today is the day when the construction of the Rath Yatra carts begin in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri में जो जगन्नाथ जी का रथ यात्रा होता है, somewhere in July. So the Rath starts today. So they starts making. And the 21, of course in Jagannath Puri they have 42 days of Chandan Yatra. So that also starts today. आप लोगों ने जिन्होंने पहले आए होंगे भगवान गोपाल जी का दर्शन किया, those who have taken darshan, Gopalji was applied Chandan. So this will go on for 21 days because the heat is increasing. From today onwards, severe heat increases. So the Lord is applied Chandan. So you can, those who took darshan would be able to see that. Usually it's black Gopalji. But today there was whole body was covered with Chandan. So this will go on also for next 21 days. So we will come to that story a little later, how that Chandan thing began. So if we have time, we will continue with that story also. We'll cover the incidents first, what all happened, and then we'll come back to this. And so there is also another, historically, another event that happened was our dear Sudama ji visited Krishna in Dwarka. You know Sudama, Krishna's childhood friend? They were the batchmates in Sandipani Muni's Gurukul ashram. So they were like very close friends. They did all their schooling together. And so today is the day when Sudamaji actually reached Dwarka and met his friend again after many, many years. He had his own life. हो जाता है ना, बिछड़ जाते हैं दोस्त, स्कूल के फ्रेंड्स, फिर बाद में 20 साल बाद फेसबुक पे मिले या कहीं तो मिले. But this is different. So he knew Dwarkadish became so famous and Krishna was the king and ruling the whole thing, and Sudama got married and had children, but they were very, very poor somehow, Brahmanas. He would just simply beg whatever is there. And his wife would tell many a times that, and she was also very devoted wife, great love for Krishna they had, they would worship. But then wife would tell, then he's anyway your good friend, your batchmate hai. At least मिल के आ जाओ, शायद कुछ दे दें आपको, तो थोड़ा भी देंगे तो बहुत कुछ हो जाएगा आपके लिए. So of course, she just wanted to, for her children and for Sudama, she was thinking, yeah, he's not getting anything to eat much and he's getting so thin, losing weight. So people do so much to lose weight. But he was losing weight. So then he said that please go. Her name was Shushila. There's a beautiful temple in Porbandar, Sudama and Shushila. Those who have been there. Beautiful place. So then she finally requested and he said, okay, I will go. And she said, okay, take some gift. So they didn't have anything at home actually. कुछ देने के लिए था ही नहीं उनके पास. So she said, okay, since you're going to meet your childhood friend, you must take something for him. So she goes to few neighbors' house and begs for chipped rice, poha. And that also was from different households she collected, was not just one. किसी का मोटा पोहा, किसी का पतला पोहा, किसी का brown पोहा. So she mixed all those different varieties of poha. पोहा की भी variety आती है ना. So that's what she got, and she mixed that, put it in a cloth jholi and gave to Sudamaji. And Sudamaji set out to walk towards from Porbandar to Dwarka. And as we know, the beautiful, so we will not go into the details because of lack of time, but I'll just briefly reach Dwarka. And then as soon as they reach Dwarka and the gatekeepers asked, who are you? He says, I'm Krishna's friend. Tell Krishna Sudama has come. And then as soon as Krishna comes to know Sudama has come, my childhood friend Krishna actually was with Rukmini Devi's palace. He had all those 16,108 palaces, but Krishna just runs and greets and receives him so lovingly, so beautifully. He receives, gave him a real royal welcome, and personally with his own tears washes his feet. This is Krishna, who is the proprietor, he's the king of all the universes, but a poor beggar friend. It's like a beggar almost. He didn't have anything. He comes in and such a royal welcome. And Rukmini Devi, who is none other than actually Lakshmi Devi, personally fanning him. That is the fortune which Sudama had. And they had wonderful exchanges, had long conversations. Bhagavatam describes in great detail their conversations, and they were remembering their school days. And जैसे पुराने यार मिलते हैं तो कैसे वो बात करते हैं. So they were just remembering those days and having nice discussions. And Krishna was telling about what he is doing and how he got married to 16,108 queens. And Sudama was saying, I only have one wife. And both were sharing their realizations of their married life now. And then And then Krishna asked, did Bhavi send some gift for me? And did he bring some gift? And when Sudama saw that palace, it was like supremely opulent. Like these pillars, the Bhagavatam has elaborate descriptions. The pillars would have gold and rubies and inlays of it, and the floors were also like the best quality of marble. And everything was supremely exquisite. And this Sudama had chipped rice in the cloth bag, which was from 4 different houses. So he was feeling so shy कि ये कैसे दे सकता हूँ यार? How can I offer this? You can imagine if you go out to some really, really rich people's house and we have like something really like छोटा सा कुछ भेंट लेके आए, how do you feel like? But then Krishna actually finds and grabs that chipped rice and just takes it out of love from him, and he accepts that chipped rice. And then Rukmini Devi stops. बस हो गया, एक खा लिया, मुझे पूरा देना पड़ेगा इसके बदले में. I have to give him all the wealth which I have. That is the magnanimity of Krishna. Is whenever one does any little service to Krishna, he reciprocates in ways which we can't even imagine. बोलते हैं ना, भगवान जब देते हैं तो वो छप्पड़ फाड़ के देते हैं, 10 हाथ से देते हैं, तो हम 2 हाथ से क्या संभाल सकते हैं? So that is Krishna. Even one little service done to the Lord, that is the nature. सबका अपना अपना स्वभाव होता है कि कोई थोड़ा भी उनके लिए कुछ करता है तो वो उसके लिए छप्पड़ फाड़ के करने को तैयार हैं. We just have to take one step towards Him. We just have to start establishing our connection with God. And in this age and time in Kali Yuga, the easiest method which is recommended in the scriptures, all the Vedic texts say that for this age of Kali Yuga, the best and the easiest method to connect with God is through chanting His names. And any names one can chant, but especially for this age, it is recommended if somebody can chant this Maha Mantra which we chant. We will chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So this Maha Mantra, this is called as Maha Mantra. This is the most powerful mantra which is there, which can help us re-establish our lost connection with God. So those who would like to chant, those who are chanting, we all have to try to increase on this auspicious day. And those who are not chanting, please try to connect with some devotees. And there are Mataji is sitting there, Prabhu is saying they can show us how to chant. And so like that, this is very, very easy way to connect. So our dear Sudama is there. This Rukmini Devi stops. Of course, different acharyas give wonderful commentaries that Rukmini Devi was feeling that if Krishna eats everything, तो हमें तो खाने को मिलेगा ही नहीं. Actually, ऐसा नहीं कि भगवान को भूख लगी थी. It's Krishna does not need our food. He needs our love. एक ही चीज़ की भूख लगती है भगवान को, वो है प्रेम की. उनके लिए तो बनाने के लिए सैकड़ों हजारों लक्ष्मियाँ हैं. शास्त्रों में वर्णन किया जाता है कि लाखों लक्ष्मियाँ भगवान की सेवा में लगी हुई हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि भगवान को हम भोग नहीं लगाएंगे तो भगवान भूखे रह जाएंगे. No, He has all the prasad at His disposal. The best of food is available for Him. He needs just our love, our time. So then Sudama, so the Rukmini Devi stopped Krishna कि नहीं, आप सब खाएंगे तो हमें कहाँ मिलेगा. और and she can't eat herself. She had to give people in the palace and all the 16,107 more queens. तो कम से कम एक क्या पोहे का दाना तो बचना चाहिए ना. और प्रॉब्ली शायद ग्राइंड करके सबको बांट पाते, कम पड़ जाता. 16,000 दाने भी थे कि नहीं मुझे मालूम नहीं, बट whatever the amount was there, but she wanted to save it for herself and for others also. So that was her bhav. And then of course Krishna invites that please take prasadam at our house. Abhi aaye hain to prasad dijiye. And then when the news spread to all the queens of Dwarka that Krishna's childhood friend has come, so they also sent an invitation that you should bring to our house also. And Krishna told Sudama, actually now you have to eat. अभी एक के घर पे खाओगे, दूसरे के घर नहीं खाओगे तो मेरे को बाद में पूछेंगे कि अपने दोस्त को वहाँ क्यों नहीं लाए. So why didn't you bring him to our house? So Krishna told Sudama, so now you take prasad today here, then you have to go to 16,107 houses every day. And Sudama was doing the mathematics. Oh my God, 16,007 days if I spend in each palace each day, that will be like how many years? Few hundreds of years at least. मतलब 16,000 दिन, मतलब 300 दिन के हिसाब से मान लिया जाए तो. So at least, yeah, he calculated, so baap re, to main ja hi nahi paunga, I won't be able to go back. So then he finally said, no, I can't tell them everyone to bring prasad to this. So all of the queens actually made whatever their favorite items they knew, whatever they knew the best, they brought it. And it was like a huge feast of a room full of prasad, which was offered to Sudama ji. So this incident also happened today. And of course, we know the story how Sudama didn't ask for anything. When he goes back, it was a whole different world for him. But he was still attached to serving Krishna in a very simple way. He was not attached to the wealth he received. He was just grateful for being with Krishna and remembering him. And that's what his whole family was, Shushila and his children. They were all very, very devoted to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. So this beautiful episode also happened today, some 5,000 odd years back. And yeah, another very important incident that happened was that Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, Draupadi ji, she received the Akshay Patra from Suryadev today. Because when they were going to the forest, the exile, and that time many of the residents or people were starting to follow them. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking, how will we feed these saints and rishis when we go to the forest? वहाँ पर हम कैसे इनको खिलाएंगे भोजन इत्यादि. So they were praying, and Suryadev personally comes in and offers them an Akshay Patra. So he told Suryadev, told Draupadi ji, that please take this patra, and with this you can feed any amount of guests. The only thing is, after you finish your meal, then for that day no more prasad will come. It's nice to have such a name. किसी को अगर ऐसा आज मिल जाए वो अक्षय पात्र, so we can feed hundreds and thousands. We can have hunger free for the whole world. Just one personality, you can just, of course, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, we have many initiatives, Annamrit, and many Food for Life programs where we are trying. We have a farm in Govardhan Eco Village. We have in Palghar where we have a Annamrit where anyone can come and take prasad anytime. So by Prabhupada's grace, we are doing this. But today is the day when Suryadev gave that Akshay Patra. And we know the famous story from Mahabharata when there is one very senior saint rishi whose name is Durvasa Muni. He is a very powerful saint, many disciples he has, and he would usually, whenever he would go somewhere, he would go with his disciples. And sometimes that would mean 10,000, or sometimes more also. So he would go. So one time he came to the Kauravas, and Duryodhan had all the big palace kitchen they had. So they arranged a wonderful feast prasad for Durvasa ji and all his disciples. So they had a grand reception and served them really well. Of course, Durvasa Muni, one thing I forgot to mention, he is a very powerful saint, very great devotee of the Lord, but little short-tempered. Gussa jaldi aa jata hai. That's everyone's nature. So he was like that. He would get upset little soon. Koi kuch gadbad kar deta tha, to he would get, and he would curse also. So then, but he was very pleased by Duryodhan, and so Duryodhan asked, so Durvasa Muni was very happy with him, and he asked, can I do something for you? I want to bless you. What benediction you want? So Duryodhan, being Duryodhan, very cruel-minded and मतलब क्या होता है ना, कुछ लोगों का यही होता है कि दूसरों का नुकसान कैसा हो. अभी he could have asked for anything for himself. That's the nature of people of this world is many times हमें दूसरों के बुरे में ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है, अपना क्यों. वो एक ऐसा ना, एक स्टोरी है ना, वो एक होता है कि जिसको मिलता है कि आपको जो भी मिलेगा पड़ोसी को डबल मिलेगा. तो बोलता है मेरे को एक गाड़ी मिल जाए तो पड़ोसी को दो मिल जाती हैं, वो मेरे को एक घर तो पड़ोसी को दो. वो बड़ा दुखी होता रहता है, जलता रहता है, अरे यार उसको ज़्यादा क्यों मिल रहा है. बोला मेरी एक आँख चली जाए ताकि पड़ोसी की दो चली जाए. तो कहने का मतलब दैट्स हाउ पीपल्स नेचर्स आर. व्हाट कैन वी डू. But when we come in touch with God, then that heart gets gradually purified and we are, all these anarthas go away. So here also, he could have asked for anything. And this fellow, he's asking कि मेरे बड़े भाई, बड़े प्रेम से उनको बोल रहा है to Durvasa ji, that my elder brother Yudhishthir is there in the forest. Kindly go and have prasad at their house also. He knows that they are in the forest, they won't be able to provide prasad. And he will get angry and they'll get cursed. That was his whole idea, to somehow get them cursed from Durvasa ji. So he's telling them, no, have prasad at their house. So Durvasa Muni kindly agreed, okay. So he founds the position of where Yudhishthira is and they go there. And with all his 10,000 entourage. But that day, Pandavas had their meals and they had fed whoever rishis were surrounding them. They would feed every day the rishis who were surrounding. And Draupadi also had her meal. So now Durvasa Muni reaches late and then he asks Yudhishthira Maharaj and welcomes very nicely. He said that we have come for prasad to your house. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was shocked. Now 10,000 people, how do we cook here in the forest? And so finally he's told that please have a bath and do your Gayatri and come back and we'll try to manage something. Abhi unko mana nahi kar sakte, he'll get upset. So then he's thinking, called for Draupadi, have you had your prasad? He said, yes, I had. There's nothing what this Akshay Patra will be able to do. So what to do now? So when devotees are in crisis, the only thing is to remember the Lord. Actually, सब जगह सुख में सिमरन क्या है, दुख में नहीं, दुख में सिमरन सब करें, सुख में करे ना कोई. यानी सुख दुख में सब में भक्त भगवान का स्मरण करते हैं. The Pandavas were the best devotees of the Lord. हर स्थिति में भगवान का स्मरण करते थे. They would remember the Lord. So Draupadi, with all her heart, and the Pandavas were praying deeply, and Krishna came. This is the power of prayers. When we call to the Lord with all our heart, with our feeling, by this chanting, as we were discussing before, the Lord personally comes. Sometimes as a person, sometimes he will send some devotees, sometimes he will send some Bhagavatam, sometimes he will send some book, sometimes he will give you a link of some good nice YouTube video where Bhagavad Gita is happening. So Krishna can come manifest himself through various ways. So here Krishna personally comes for Draupadi and asks, and Yudhishthira Maharaj very nicely welcomes, and Krishna asks, I am hungry, is there some prasad? So now Draupadi is thinking, एक वो 10,000 वेट कर रहे हैं, ऊपर से आप भी अभी लेट आए, and while I have nothing to offer you. And then Krishna says, don't worry, go and have a look at the Akshay Patra. There might be some little grain, something there. And then she finally goes and gets the Akshay Patra, sees a little grain is there, and then Krishna says, I will honor that. And Krishna accepts that. As we were discussing before, it's the love that Krishna is hungry of. And out of deep emotion and love, Draupadi ji and the Pandavas offered that grain of rice, and Krishna was completely satisfied. And that's when Krishna is satisfied, the whole world gets satisfied. Everyone becomes satisfied. The Bhagavatam explains, Yatha taror mool nishechanena. It's like watering the root of the tree. The root is the origin of the tree. जहाँ से पेड़ का उद्गम होता है, उसी प्रकार से जब हम पेड़ को जल देते हैं तो सब वृक्ष के फल, पत्ते, टहनियाँ सब हरी भरी रहती हैं. They are all healthy. So similarly, when we serve God, when we please God, then all the people who are connected with God, which is all of us, all living beings, are automatically satisfied. So then, Durvasa Muni and all his 10,000 disciples were bathing, were completely satisfied. Somehow their stomachs got filled and they were like sort of bloating जैसा होने लगा उनको and belching होने लगा and Yudhishthira Maharaj at that time says, Bhimsen, can you please go and invite them? That prasad is ready, everything is arranged. So then Bhimsen is going and calling Durvasa Muni ji, please come, prasadam is ready. And now they were thinking, अगर हम गए और कुछ नहीं खाया तो युधिष्ठिर महाराज को बहुत बुरा लगेगा. Naturally, ना, somebody invites you to your house, they have made all the arrangements for you for dinner and you have prepared, for whole day you have been preparing and such nice prasad, and that guest come to your house and says, no, I have no hunger, I don't want to eat anything and program is cancelled, I already ordered and ate something and came. So you will feel definitely disheartened. So Durvasa Muni, being a saintly personality, he said, नहीं यार, अगर हम गए तो बहुत बुरा लगेगा युधिष्ठिर जी को. तो वो बोलते हैं कि हमारा तो पेट भर गया, हम जा रहे हैं, तो तुरंत वहीं से बोल दो कि इमरजेंसी काम आ गया, वी आर गोइंग बैक, सम अनदर इन्विटेशन, सम इमरजेंसी service came, we have to go back. So they didn't come, and Bhimsen came back and said that they had to go some other place and we could not bring them. And that's how this also beautiful episode also happened. This Akshay Patra was received on this day today. And also very beautiful temple of Varaha Narsimha in Simhachalam. There's Varaha Narsimha, it's in Andhra Pradesh. Those who have been, there is a beautiful temple of Varaha Narsimha. There is one great devotee of Lord. His name is Prahlad. He was very small, 5 years old, when his father was Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to kill him. Somehow, difference of opinion. He was worshipping Vishnu. And a long story cut, and Prahlad and the Lord appeared as Narsimhadev, killed Hiranyakashipu, and his Chacha, he was also killed by Varahadev, another form of the Lord. So later on, when after ruling Prahlad Maharaj for many years, he came to Simhachalam and he prayed to the Lord that I want to see the form in which you killed my Chacha and Narsingh, they both combined. So the Lord appeared as Varaha Narsimha. And later Prahlad Maharaj said that I want you to stay here in this form. And then a beautiful deity which appeared millions of years ago was installed there, which is Varaha Narsimha. And every day they apply chandan to the Lord. So यानी चंदन लगाते हैं और फिर अगले दिन फिर नया चंदन लगाते हैं. So this is almost like the whole day, whole year 364 they apply chandan to the Lord. तो पुराना उतारते नहीं हैं. एक हमारे यहाँ क्या करते हैं, जो गोपाल जी आपने दर्शन किया, we'll remove the chandan tonight, and now you will see the chandan will not be there. And again tomorrow morning we'll apply chandan. But there in Simhachalam, the chandan is applied every day, and today is the only day in the morning they remove the entire chandan. So actually, the mool vigraha ka darshan aaj hi mil sakta hai. Today is the day when you actually get the darshan of the Lord. So lakhs of people assemble there to take darshan of this beautiful Varaha Narsimha Dev. And also today, from today till 21 days, this beautiful festival of Chandan Yatra begins, where we apply Chandan to their lordships. भगवान को हम चंदन लगाते हैं. यहाँ बाहर आप लोगों के पास जब भी next 21 days, whenever you have time, you can all come, and there is a facility. There are Chandan logs, and that stone is kept. You can grind that Chandan, and that Chandan will be applied to their lordships. भगवान को वो direct, नहीं तो usually entire year to worship the Lord, there are many procedures and many qualifications required to enter or offer something. But in this 21 years, anyone can grind that chandan, and then chandan is offered to the Lord directly. So that facility is available for the next 20 days. And this beautiful darshan, and basically the idea of the chandan is to cool the Lord because it is very hot. And when we serve, as we were discussing before, when we serve the Lord, it's like watering the root. And we also get cooled by just cooling the Lord. This is the spiritual science where by serving the Lord, by serving others, we experience happiness and satisfaction. Otherwise, material science teaches us we try to get for things for ourselves and we will be happy. But actually, the one who has made this world has given us the principle that it's actually the other way around. When we serve God and with that understanding serve all living beings who are connected to God, then we can actually experience great satisfaction within our hearts. So therefore today is a very holy day, auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya. We all can pray to the Lord and try to establish our relationship, our connection with Lord. Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki Jai. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So now we'll have the Shayan Darshan.